Hello again, class. In this video lesson, we're going to deal with the concept of z-scores. And I'm going to break this into two parts that address Part B of Problem 1.4 and Part E of Problem 1.4. Part B is asking for the z-scores for the sales variable. Point E is asking for the proportion of sales that are plus or minus 1, 2, or 3 standard deviations above the mean. Please also note that there is a typo in the problem. It shouldn't be sales, not patient incomes. Okay, so to quickly generate z-scores for the sales variable, we need to know what the heck a z-score is. Well, there's a formula for that, and it's a very, very easy formula. Here it is. A z-score is simply the raw score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. It's just the raw score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So what that means is this score, this is the raw score, minus the mean divided by the standard deviation for every single record. Okay, so we need to get the mean and the standard deviation. And to do that, we're going to use our handy-dandy data analysis tool pack. We're going to click on descriptive statistics, click OK. We're going to select our sales column, make sure the labels in the first row is selected. I'm going to put it in a new worksheet. We're going to make sure the summary statistics box is checked and just click OK. There is our information. I'm going to copy and paste this into our file here so we can reference the values. Oh, just one quick note here. Anytime you see a value here with an E in it, that means the column is not wide enough. There's not enough decimal points. So it's saying E plus 0.8. That just means if you just stretch this out at least 8 decimal points, you're going to get the whole value. Okay, so we need to create some z-scores. So we're going to create a column. And guess what we're going to call that? We're going to call that z-scores. And we're going to go back to our formula, which is the raw score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So we're going to put in a formula here. We're going to use our equal sign because we're telling Excel there's going to be a formula. We're going to grab our raw score. We're going to subtract that from the mean, which is over here. Now, there's two mathematical operations in that formula. There's a subtraction of the raw score from the mean, and we need to tell Excel that. We're going to put some parentheses around that, so we have some order of operations there. Then we have the second part, which is the division. So we're going to use our backslash, which is dividing by the standard deviation, which is over here. Now, if I hit the Enter key, I'm going to have my z-score for this first record. But since this value for the mean and this value for the standard deviation is going to be the same for all 1,080 records, we need to tell Excel that it's going to be the same. If you remember from a previous video lesson, we need to use what's the absolute reference. So we're going to hit the F4 key. We're going to make sure we click our cursor in front of the M there and hit F4, and you're going to see those little dollar signs appear. We're going to do it again for the standard deviation. Hit F4, and there it is. Now we're going to hit the Enter key. There is our z-score for the first sales record. Now we're simply going to copy and paste this all the way down for the remaining records. And you can either do a literal copy and paste, or what I like to do is mouse over to the lower right corner of the cell till that little plus sign shows up and drag it all the way down. And there are our z-scores. That's it. So just so you understand what we just did. The z-score again was the raw score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. What this means is these are what's also called standard scores. This value here, for example, negative 11472 means that this value of 35,212 is a negative 0.11472 standard deviations below the mean. So if you wanted to check your math on that, if you subtracted 35,212 minus the mean, 37,704, you're going to get a number of roughly 2,492. That value of 2,492, if you multiplied it by this value of that value of 2,492 is equal to, if you multiplied this value of negative 11472 times the standard deviation. That's it. That's all a z-score is. It's just telling you how many standard deviations a particular score is above or below the mean. And that's a z-score.